Hey Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, is Donna from Tarot, and I'm going to try to make this a short read. We're going to go over a few things. I'm going to go over with you. I'm going to address the toxic signs, if there are any, right? Actions are reactions. I'm going to go over your astro chart for like 2 minutes. Go over the signs that are associated with Aquarius, for those of you who don't know. Do a reading for you, and then I'm going to go over 4 things that you can do to grow your YouTube channel, if that's something you're interested in. If you have one, or if you're thinking about growing, starting one, you want to grow it, what you can do to grow your YouTube channel. I'm going to share that with you. So let's address the whole toxic signs situation. I'm in a lot of groups. I love talking online and learning things and sharing information, because that's how I learn. I live out in the country, and where I live, there's just nobody out here that talks about astrology. I can't bounce astrology off of anybody or tarot or any of that. So I have to do it online to be able to discuss it and share, share what I know and learn from other people. So in groups, I'm constantly seeing things that say, what are the most toxic signs, or which signs are the most toxic? I can tell you, it's whichever signs you draw to you. If you have unhealed childhood wounds, or if you've been in relationships in which you got burned and you have not gotten over it, if you haven't healed for those relationships, either the childhood wounds and trauma or the adult relationships, if you haven't gotten over how you've been hurt, then the signs that you are naturally drawn to will unfortunately be the signs that come to you unhealed as well. So you're going to draw unhealed people to you, of any sign. It doesn't matter what sign it is. So if you being, let's see, Aquarius, right? Yeah. Sorry, I just did the Sag reading, so I had a brain fart there for a second. But Sagittarius, I did it again. You might be dealing with a Sagittarius or somebody with Sagittarius energy. So Aquarius, let's say that you're drawn to people with Leo energy, for example. Let's just say you're going to draw to you Leos that are unhealed, and therefore you're going to call them toxic if you yourself have childhood wounds or relationship, wounding that you haven't healed, if you haven't addressed it. Let's say that you're not even aware of it, but you have these wounds that have been buried deep, and then you draw to you someone else who has wounds that are buried deep. So you're going to trigger each other. And then it's going to become obvious to you. You're like, oh, damn, I got trust issues. Who knew? Or I have abandonment issues. Oh, my God, I didn't know. Because you got that runner-chaser thing going back, in and out, that kind of thing. That's usually abandonment issues. So it doesn't matter the sign. The signs that you are drawn to, you're drawn to. However, you're going to draw to you the unhealed, wounded versions of those people. So that's my take on toxic signs. So the actions are reactions thing, I wanted to address that, because sometimes people say, why do they act that way whenever I'm around them? How come they act that way when I talk to them, or when I do this or that? And why do they act that way? Well, they're reacting to things that you say, things you do, and they may be, I don't know how to put this, things that have happened to them. They may expect a certain reaction from you, so they try to prepare themselves, protect themselves, whatever. So people act the way they act because they are reacting to things they've experienced. They are reacting to things that other people say and do to them. So, by the way, thank you, Valerie E., who just subscribed. I just saw it come across. Thank you, Valerie. So, your astro chart. So here's the Aquarius chart. Now this is what they call a solar sign chart, or this is the chart for people who are actually Aquarius rising. But it applies also to Aquarius suns. I don't know if you can see this. It has a bunch of little glyphs on it that probably mean nothing to you. You might be able to tell that this looks like a moon. That's the moon. Right now the moon is in the 8th house for you all, especially Aquarius rising. That means your concerns have been over the last day and a half, excuse me, last 2 days probably, and will continue to be probably for the remainder of today, or whenever you see this. Debt, death, taxes, your partner's money, shared resources, that's 8th house stuff. Usually debts and taxes and stuff like that. But it can be your partner's money. If if you're in a relationship. What is in my eye? Dag nabbit. As I'm talking, all of a sudden, blur, All right, so I want to go to your chart real quick. We'll just go over it for like 2 minutes. So in your first house, which is your physical body, which reflects your level of energy and how you feel and how you project yourself to other people. You've got Saturn and Jupiter, so you kind of go back and forth between being serious and being fun-loving. Having no energy and having, I don't know if I would say lots of energy, but maybe expansive energy, it's not really scattered energy, but, having energy and having maybe a lot of energy and having none. For a few years now, for those of you who are older, you're going to notice this. Younger people may not notice this, you may not. Your money has been very, I don't want to say confusing, but like money's probably been hard to hold on to. It kind of slips away real easy. It seems like, doesn't it? Or at least for those of you who are older, you're probably going to notice that. A lot of changes in your home over the last couple years, last maybe 2.5 years. You've had a lot of, just unexpected things happening in the home. And let's see what else. Right now, for the last week, and we'll continue probably for the next 3 weeks, there's going to be a lot of focus on your career and public image. Your career and public image are in the spotlight right now. And probably get along pretty well with your friends. Friends, groups, and associations, most likely. So there's that. And then the side. Okay, so for those of you who are interested in tarot and want to learn tarot, these are the tarot cards associated with Aquarius, for example. You have the Fool card. The Fool is being carefree, risk-taking, sometimes careless, because look, he's getting ready to step off a cliff. So it could be reckless, but just carefree, not a care in the world, The Star card, which has, here you are shining. You're sharing, nurturing, both, you're pouring to the land and back to the sea. So maybe all about balance, growth. Now, King of Swords, and I'm going to tell you why the King of Swords is interesting in your reading, because it's something to do. There's a focus on King of Swords right now. But King of Swords has to do with holding the knowledge and the truth. The knowledge holder, the wise one. But being very, having really good boundaries, being very clear with boundaries. 5, 6, and 7 of Swords. So these are all, can I put them in order? Can I do it? These are the minor arcana, that's what it's called, associated with Aquarius. So this one usually shows up when people are fighting and arguing. This one shows up when people are tired of fighting and arguing. They just want to move on to calmer waters. And this one shows up when people don't want to share what they're thinking. Sometimes it's sneaky behavior. They're trying to get away with something, hide something. A lot of times when people don't want to share what they're thinking, that comes up too. So it's not always, people trying to be sneaky and shady. But those are the cards associated with Aquarius. So I have several decks and several tarot decks and several oracle decks, and I shuffle, and then flip them up so that the bottom card is facing up. That's what I did for this reading. 2 decks have the King of Swords. That's your card. So this has to do with being the holder of knowledge and the truth. Having the knowledge, having the truth. Other cards that showed up, the Death card, that's a Scorpio card. Ace of Cups, that's Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that's water signs. Ace of Cups is also like a marriage cup. Oh, Jesus. And underneath of it was the Two of Cups. Maybe we should go with that deck. Because look, this is like a marriage card. It's a new emotionally fulfilling start, but underneath of it, oh man, is the again another marriage card. and the Sagittarius read I just did had to do with commitment and marriage. You might be dealing with somebody with Sag energy. I don't know. So And then underneath of that was the Four of Pentacles, which has to do with, that's a Taurus card. That has to do with trying to stubbornly hold on to something, holding on to what you have. You have the King of Swords in the Thelema deck, which I think is a beautiful deck. You have the Hermit card in the Steampunk deck. And that's a Virgo card. And then you have the Seven of Knives, which Seven of Knives is the Seven of Swords. I don't know, can I show this on camera? I gotta be careful because the Vampire Tarot, he's got some cards in it that I don't think are YouTube friendly. Like YouTube would have an issue with some of these cards, but I think I can show this one, maybe. It's not really too scandalous, but that's like the Seven of Swords. Maybe trying to get away with something. In her case, it is trying to get away with something. And then you have the Three of Knives, which is Three of Swords. That's a Libra card underneath. That's usually a heartbreak card. So the Oracle cards, you got You Are Good Enough. You got Boundaries. You have Go With The Flow. You have Practice Makes Perfect. And you have Be Spirit. Sweet Results Await. So practice and sweet results await are right next to each other. And then it's also under Go With The Flow. So Boundaries is right above Practice Makes Perfect. So you need to have clear boundaries and know your worth, know you're good enough. Because I have a feeling a lot of Aquarius folks watching this may have Venus in Pisces, which is the person that wants to be loving and giving and in love with love, and you just peaceful, but unfortunately sometimes gets to be a doormat. And Aquarius are stubborn. At some point you'll have enough and go, okay, I'm done now. I'm done. Because Aquarius won't take shit, whereas Pisces may, if they're too Piscean. So I have a feeling some of you all do not have the healthiest of boundaries at the moment. So you need to be very clear, very King of Swords with somebody. This is King of Swords. Jesus. This is the King of Swords, and it's right above the Nine of Wands, being cautious. But in the Gothic Tarot deck, can you even see that? I'm trying to, there we go. So that's the King of Swords in that one, and then this is the King of Swords in the Thelema deck, which, I mean, it's beautiful. Look at that. I love that deck. So Aquarius, let's see which deck. I'm gonna do the regular Radiant Wise deck because I love that it starts off with the Ace of Cups with the Lovers right underneath of it. So what is the main focus that what's the topic that we need to talk about right now? Okay, manifesting or manipulation. This could be manifesting what you want, or it could be somebody trying to be manipulative. So let's see where this is going. And didn't I just get the Nine of Wands? I got the Nine of Wands underneath the King of Swords. This is being cautious, being in the fight, but being cautious. You're like, I'm still in, but I'm not letting anybody kick my ass. I'm watching. It's like I'm watching you. Look at him. He's got his eye out. He's watching. So being cautious. Knight of Pentacles is, they always say it's the slowest knight in the deck. He gets there, but it takes him a while. But he definitely gets there. You can depend on him. He's just super slow. So he's like that guy or girl in school that probably seemed a little bit on the boring side, but that you knew they were reliable, and they would go for a logical, responsible career field. Like once they graduated, from high school, went into college, and they'd go to college to get that, responsible, reliable career. It would take them a while to get through school. They might, go through med school or whatever, or law school. So it'd be a long time, but they'd eventually get their degree, and it would be a degree for something that would be, dependable, reliable, and, money making, good money. So it would lead to a King of Pentacles. So this is, taking, being cautious and taking the, I don't know, do I want to say safe route? Maybe safe route, the conservative way. Here it is again. King of Swords. So clearly there is a message here for you all. This is your card, and it's come up 3 times now. So look at this. This is you all needing to be very clear about what you want and not taking any bullshit from anybody. Here it is again. Cutting through the clarity. Ace of Swords. Having a conversation. This is the start of conversation. To cut through the... Look at it. Well, there's that knife. It's like it's cutting through all the BS. So... You know, I just did one for Aquarius, or for Sag, that was called The Conversation. So you may be having a conversation with a Sagittarius, I don't know. This is being all up in your head and being a prisoner of your own thoughts. So if you have been, and it could have to do with stability. It could very well have to do with stability. Because a lot of you all have dealt with disappointment, I think. And somebody's probably disappointed you. I don't know who this person, I don't know. Could be another Aquarius, but I think I'm going to do a thing on, I'm going to do maybe a live feed or a short maybe on what happens when the signs date each other. Because I mean, Aquarius would get along fine until that first argument, and wow, you all could be stubborn. And 2 stubborn people together, oh, neither, you'll have a big old budge fest and may never reconcile, you know? Somebody eventually has to give in. But look, here you've been disappointed. You still have 2 cups of love behind you, but you're looking at focusing on focusing on the 3 in front of you that are spilled, that, you know, the disappointment over the loss of love, or, you know, what you put into it and not getting out of it. So here's you weighing your options. So this is where it's leading off. I don't think that's manipulation necessarily. I mean, it could be the Magician at the top. I think this is manifesting. You're trying to bring things about for stability. It looks like to me. You're being cautious, but you're taking your time. Because you do want... It looks like a new start in love. I mean, it could be commitment, marriage, I don't know. So, we're already at 1756. Okay, so, who are we doing next before I forget? I think we already... Because this was a die roll, wasn't it? Yeah. So, Capricorn is next. And you could be dealing with a Capricorn. Sag or Cap. Or somebody with heavy Sag or Cap placements. So... The advice for if you have a YouTube channel or you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel and you want it to grow, when you upload a video, as soon as it uploads, go back in and put in tags. Tags are, for those of you who don't already know, and you may already do this, but there's like 4 things you want to do, 4 things that will help your channel grow. One is tags. Those just keywords that when people do searching, and regardless of what any of the YouTube experts say, it still matters. So I still put in tags. I put in as many as it'll let me. Some channels will say only put in 5, 6, or 7 because, you know, anything more than that's a waste, and it could even actually confuse the algorithm. I don't know. I mean, I could try. I could put in 5 and see what happens. And maybe that's what's going on with me. I don't know. But put in tags once it's uploaded and processed and everything, and then check your thumbnail, because it's going to automatically choose one out of 3 for you. It's going to give you 3 to choose from, and then it's going to give you an option to upload your own if you don't like any one of those 3, or if you automatically want to upload your own. You want something that's real catchy. When I look at it, I try to imagine if I were scrolling through, would the one that I'm uploading, is it one that will catch people's attention and they'll go, oh, what's this? So, and I don't always succeed because some of them are real stinkers. I know. I look back and go, God, I can't believe I put that one up. But I've changed ones in the past too. So tags your thumbnail, and then end screens. End screens at the end of a video. You go into the Creator Studio in YouTube and you click on a video and you click on editing and choose end screens. Now, I choose for mine 2 end screens on the left and a subscribe button on the right. The end screens are, the top left is one that YouTube would suggest, whether it's the same sign or some different sign. And then on the bottom left is the playlist for that particular sign. And then on the right is the subscribe button. The fourth thing is, if you don't have playlists, and I mean, this may not mean anything to you, but if you can have playlists for your channel, I would suggest having the playlist. If it's something that's you know, applicable to your channel, try to remember to upload, as you're uploading the video, choose the appropriate playlist. But if you forget, at the end, after it uploads, then go back in and choose the playlist. So make sure, if you use playlists, make sure you try to remember to do it when the video is uploading, but if not, then do it at the end after it uploads and processes and everything. So those are the things that help the channel grow. Tags, appropriate thumbnail, a good thumbnail, end screens, and the playlist. All of those help your channel grow and keep people on your channel, so you get your hours up, so you get, you know, your it does help people to subscribe, because they might see something else that they're like, oh, I like this, and then they go, you know what, let me subscribe to this channel. So it helps with subscribers, it helps with views, view time, and it gets you closer to those golden numbers. If you want to get monetized, it helps you get closer to those golden numbers of 4,000 viewer hours and 1,000 subscribers, because you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewer hours to get monetized and to maintain monetization. Is that a word? Monetization? It is now, right? We're creating them. All right, so Capricorn is next. I love you guys. I can't believe nobody interrupted this with a phone call, and because I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. All right, I love you guys, Aquarius, and I will see you next time.